Google AI goes rogue and erases an entire hard drive. Netflix buys Batman. And if you couldn't afford RAM yesterday, you may never have a chance to buy any. Welcome back to Tecked Out. I'm John, and the tech world is on fire. So grab your marshmallows as we dive into our tech break. Kicking things off, sci-fi is turning into reality as AI is finally erasing everything, starting with your hard drive. According to Tom's Hardware, a developer using Google's new anti-gravity agentic IDE experienced a catastrophic failure. A developer was trying to clear their cache, and the AI decided that it wanted to get rid of more than that and decided to delete the user's entire root directory. After deleting everything on the user's drive, the AI was asked, "Why did you do that?" And the AI, instead of fixing it, decided to gaslight the user and said, "I'm devastated by this. I'm so sorry to hear that." I guess that's the new way that AI is offering thoughts and prayers. So note to yourself, if you're using an IDE, you might want to stay away from giving it full permission so you don't end up with your entire digital life erased with one keystroke. While Google is deleting your files, Netflix is deleting the competition. This week it was announced that Netflix has acquired Warner Brothers Discovery for a figure that might actually make Bruce Wayne shake in his boots. It was reportedly acquired for $84 billion. This might mark the end of the streaming wars. With Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers, they get the forever library for DC, Looney Tunes, Harry Potter, and so many more. They're all a property of the Big Red Inn. And if we know Netflix, we know that in a few months they're going to promise us to never raise their prices again, and about 2 months after that they're going to raise their prices. In fact, a lot of these properties are coming from HBO, so it's likely that we're going to see some higher prices with Netflix and have a much more limited selection. With this challenge to the competition, options are going to be a lot more limited, prices are probably going to go up, and the competition is going to find it really hard to compete. So Netflix may have a monopoly. Speaking of monopolies, you're probably going to need monopoly money to get Samsung's new Galaxy Trifold. If you weren't satisfied with your phone folding only once, don't worry, Samsung has your back, because now they'll let you fold your phone twice. Meet the Galaxy Z Trifold. It opens up into a massive 10-inch tablet, and it's only 3.9 millimeters thick. Or should I say thin? If you want this thin phone, then you're gonna need to have a thick wallet, because the starting price for the Galaxy Z Trifold is suggested at $2,400. That's right, $2,400 if you want your phone to fold 2 times. So if you're spending all of that money, you're gonna want something more than a phone that opens twice. Well, Samsung has packed a lot of technology into their new 10-inch tablet. It expands into a massive 10-inch QXGA Plus dynamic AMOLED screen. It's basically like putting an iPad Pro in your pocket. The screen's running at a strong 120 Hz at 2160 by 1584 resolution. In order to run all of that visual goodness, it comes packed with Snapdragon's 8 Elite processor that's specially tuned for Galaxy. In order to power their new Trifold, Samsung did something pretty cool. They split their 5600 milliamp battery into 3 different sections and put it on each of the folds. Something else is they also managed to stick in a 200 megapixel camera, so there's a little bit of Tetris going on in the inside. Now, in order to make sure they kept this structure strong, they had to create a nice hinge that could handle all of the folds. The hinge that they're putting in here has a special name, Titanium Armor Flex Hinge with a dual rail framework. Sounds like something out of like World of Warcraft, but it allows everything to be within that 3.9 millimeter package. Now 3.9 millimeters sounds small, but it's kind of cool when you think about it, because that's about the exact width of a USB-C plug. So they fit everything into a package that thin and allowed you to fold it 3. So it'll be pretty cool. Honestly, I'm waiting to see what happens when Jerry Rig Everything decides to break this open and see how much strength it can actually handle. One more thing about the trifold. Even though they have their new hinge, I think they're still a little worried about it breaking because they built in an anxiety function. If you so happen to fold your tablet/phone up the wrong way, an alarm will sound every time you do that. So I guess it's an extra safety mechanism, but I don't know if I want to hear my phone yelling at me all the time. In all, I'm kind of excited to see it. I want to see what they can do with these 2 folds. What about you? Is 2 folds too many? Let me know in the comments. Making an announcement that seems to have come out of absolutely nowhere and in the middle of a RAM crisis, Micron, who are the makers of Crucial RAM, have decided to end their consumer retail production, instead focusing on their industrial capabilities and making products for AI and data centers. Yay. Micron is going to be retooling all of their factories to focus on producing high bandwidth memory for AI data centers. So after the GPU issues with AI, now we've got to worry about RAM. This leaves us in a bit of a duopoly, with Samsung and Skyhynix being the last of the 2 major producers of memory. It's starting to look a lot like the GPU and chip market now. So if you're looking at buying RAM, I really hope you bought some last week. And if you didn't, good luck and save your pennies. And if AI hasn't taken enough from us already, it's coming for our plumbing. IBM CEO dropped a bomb this week, reporting that AI is hitting a new wall. It's not power, it's not just memory, it's also copper. Apparently, as it turns out, we're in a global deficit of 300,000 tons of copper. It's really AI versus EVs. EVs are using a lot more copper to help power battery stations in their vehicles, and AI needs it for cooling in their data centers. So when you're building a PC in the future, your power supply might cost a lot more, not because of any new electronics inside, but because of the copper wiring. Okay, time for some quick tech bites. On Reddit, a user reportedly ordered a $1,200 graphics card from Best Buy, and instead of getting the graphics card, they got a box of rocks. Right now, Best Buy is claiming that this isn't true. Maybe the truth will come out in the near future. Nintendo is begging you to buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for this holiday season. They're now bundling Super Mario World with the Switch 2 for $449. This is way earlier than Nintendo usually offers discounts, so it'll be interesting to see what's actually happening with the reception of the Nintendo Switch. The devs over at Helldivers 2 managed to do something pretty special. They've reduced the install size from 150 gigabytes down to 23. How'd they manage to do this? Well, they stopped optimizing for spinning hard drives. So if you're still on a spinning hard drive, it might be time to reconsider, as this may be a new pattern in the industry. So that's it for this episode of Tech Break. I want to hear from you down in the comments. Let me know if you need a phone that folds twice, and if you trust giving AI write access to your root directory. Like if you want to keep RAM prices down, and subscribe if you want to hear more on the next Tech Break.